next 10 minutes from you. Go ahead.
So I'd like to give a brief introduction about myself. I am a research scholar in the Department of Aerospace Engineering and Applied Mechanics at the Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology in Shivpur. It's in West Bengal in India. So I joined in 2017. I've been working on computational mechanics like crystal plasticity, finite element analysis on additively manufactured structures. So prior to that, I did my master's from here in this field of computational mechanics. Before joining my master's, I had done my I had worked in a multinational organization in for like which manufactures cutting tool inserts. And before that, I completed my BTech. So I am I have worked in the manufacturing industry. So I am interested to post completion of my PhD. I'm interested in working in an industrial environment. So I am very much into computational mechanics and finite element analysis, and I want to have a job role related to that. My strength areas are like Abacus, and I have worked on Python scripting in Abacus, and I know I have worked a little bit on MATLAB. I'm currently looking for opportunities related to that. So my primary questions related to that was how difficult would it be to, or what would be the challenges for me for joining an industry at this moment. Like that, I've had a 3-year job experience. Then I did my master's and now PhD. So I'm already in the age group of 33, 34. So now, what would be the challenges that I may be facing for as a fresher, for starting as a fresher in an industry, and how to overcome those challenges such that I can join that part of work. So and currently I would not be I'd not be inclined much towards academics, as I must say, uh, because I want to work in this environment, industrial environment.
I think I understood your point. And if I'm not wrong, you're talking about your questions based on Indian industry in India
Yes.
and all that, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, I will give you my best estimate based on, because I live in US. My most of my, I would say, experience has been in US, but I've been talking to a lot of students since last 3-4 years. So I can give you my piece of advice on from that. So let me ask you a couple of questions first. When you plan to graduate?
I am into my 5th year of PhD. I joined in 2017, so I am likely to submit my thesis in by the next year, 2023.
Okay. Okay, 2023. So you have a year before you
Yes.
apply for a job and all that, right? So, okay, first of all, let me give you a very, I would say, a very clean picture on the jobs and so forth. So what I have seen so far is people who have computational background, especially post COVID, I would say, who have computational background, who have background in manufacturing, are the highly sorted person for jobs. That's for sure. Your so for example, if you ask me, I don't have a computational background. I'm an experimentalist to by skills and experience, my PhD and so forth. It was a very tough transition for me to look for something when I didn't have any computational tools, and I had friends who had, and it was much easier for them to find a job, especially if you have a job which allows you to work remotely, because things are changing now. So for any companies, if you can stay at home and still work, is really a good, really you become an asset, and it's work good for you also. Because not many times you are able to move to a place because of COVID and so forth. So in terms of the skill set that you are that you have, and the, I would say, the degree you have, the topics you told me you are working on are very valuable. So I don't, in general, I would say, if there are some other issues, I would say that you shouldn't have a problem looking for jobs if there are a lot of openings. You will be highly sorted person. If there are no jobs at all, then of course scenario is different. I mean, if there are no jobs, no job. But what I'm saying, in a general market, for you to look for a job, this should not be a problem. And at the same time, I would say that a person who has already experienced, um, and in an industry of 3-4 years of experience, that also matters quite a lot. So industry usually are much more comfortable if you have worked in an industry environment rather than all you have is academic experience, right? So what I'm saying, in all those scenarios, in my opinion, you fit very well for a job description. Let's say if there's a company in Bangalore, or in Boeing, or Boeing, or GE, or anybody looking for a manufacturing guy who can help in a failure analysis. And as I said, computational tools has become very, very important nowadays. I mean, there is no company and no jobs that and no trade, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's R&D, that works without experiments, without computational work. Every company does it because of productivity, low cost, and many other reasons, right? So and we are forced to do that. We are forced to use those tools. So if you know the tools, whether it's finite element tools, whether it's any solver, for example, MATLAB or anything, it's an asset, because then it will be easy for you to do any sort of a work, whether it's related to data analysis, data analytics, because you know MATLAB, so you can do it. That's my point. Or anything for that matter. So in general, if your question is whether I'm at the right place doing the right thing, I think you are. I think you are. I won't say to a person who is just an experimentalist, because trust me, that value, the value of that person, I won't say that person has no value, but that person would have really difficult time looking for a job. That's one thing.
Okay.
That will I will say that for sure. So looking at your CV, but also I would say you can say, okay, there will be one scenario where you have to struggle, where you say, okay, I have a background in running crystal plasticity code, and this is my interest. I would say don't don't buy that too much. Don't go into too much. Whatever you do in your PhD will have nothing to do what you will do in your future. I have undergrad in mining engineering from BHU, and then I came to US, did my master's in civil, and then PhD in mechanical. And I did my PhD was in experimental mechanics, in farming. I do nothing related to that at all. I mean, the work I do has nothing to do whatever I did in my life, to be honest with you. My point here is your interest and your things will change based on where the value is, because things move around. Today is additive, tomorrow it will be something else. Do you understand my point? And I have seen that. I mean, 10 years back when we were undergrad, there was nothing like additive. People used to do prototyping, but then this additive became a big thing. But it's not like it's going to remove all the conventional manufacturing methods. No, it's not. Additive has its own market. It will stay there, but it's not going to. But what I'm trying to tell you is your skill set is most valuable. What knowledge you have, you can apply that knowledge in any areas. Be ready for that, be open for that. So for example, if there's an opening out there where Boeing is looking for a person who can help them in data science. I would say, why can't you do that? Because you know MATLAB, you know how to write codes, you are very versed in, you should be doing it. You understand my point?
Yes.
Open to that sort of a scenarios, and make sure your CV, and I say that actually quite a lot, I'm going to repeat it, but you shouldn't have just one CV, make multiple CVs. There is nothing wrong
Yes.
in it. Your one CV can say you are a manufacturing guru. The other CV can say you are a really good computational guy. The other CV can say you are a multiverse guy. You can do whatever you want. You know, it could be more large. Then if you do that, then the pool you're looking at, whether it's Indeed or LinkedIn on jobs, will be a lot. Otherwise, you will looking at very small pool. Make yourself much diverse. If there is a job out there in a pharmaceutical market, and if they are looking for someone who can help them in genetics, because but they are looking for really someone who knows a Python really well. If I was you, I will go there. Why not? I will learn something new. Why would I want to do the same thing which I did in last 10 years and has less value now? So understand. And I mean, if you look at the area of crystal plastic, people have been doing this for last, I don't know, 70 years or more.
Yes.
So my point here is what I'm saying is your skill set is more important. If you know how to, if you know if you are a carpenter, that carpenter skill set is more important. It doesn't matter whether you make a chair or a table or a seat for a aircraft. It doesn't matter. So what I'm saying, think that way, and you will be fine.
Sir, my question related to this was how to proceed searching for jobs. I mean, or how to make the job search like foolproof, or a plan in such that I can proceed in a planned way, such that in a time duration of 2 to 3 years, I may actually end up landing with a proper job of computational background.
As I told you, right now your focus has to be you need to finish your degree,
Yes.
right? So you
Yes.
really can't do much, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's a good idea for you to distract yourself and not focus on finishing your PhD, because you have already taken so long. So I
Yes.
would say first thing first, in my opinion, any PhD student who should start looking for the job is only after you finish your first draft of thesis, not before that. So I won't advise and I won't distract you saying that, okay, you should look for a job right now or look for something. Right now, your job is to finish your PhD. I mean, as I said to you, it's already way past. You can only make your life once you finish your PhD, right? So right now your focus has to be finish your PhD, and once you submit your first draft to your advisor, then aggressively look for a job. And then how to do it is very simple. I mean, it's like everybody does. You have to do networking. I mean, I don't know like what are the way to look for jobs in India, but um, undergrads usually you have the placement services that you go to, right? In every school has a placement services. I don't know if that applies for a PhD or not. If you have friends at ISC Bangalore or a place like ISC Bangalore, that would be helpful, because though they don't have undergrads, so and companies still come there, they hire PhDs and masters. They might have a better idea about what to do it. But in US, there is no placement services. So as a person, we have to just go to company's website and look for a job. That's what we do. There is no placement. So I would say you can do the same thing. Also, my advice to you is use LinkedIn as people use Facebook. I mean, LinkedIn should be your Facebook, to be honest with you. That that thing has to be updated. Just like you contacted me, you're getting a piece of advice. You can do the same
Yes.
thing with a person who is working in BMW in Bangalore in manufacturing. Why can't you talk to that person and ask the same advice, right? I do that.
Yes.
I mean, there are not many times, let's say, people reply or answer, but if you're really sincere, like the email you wrote to me, right? It looks a very sincere email. I ask to students a lot of time, or anybody, if they are looking for advice, to write a nice email. Not everybody does it, then I don't reply. But if you do it, then you, so like, the person is sincere, why don't I respond? And I think nowadays people understand these things and they do reply. Things are very different now because everybody has gone through a certain level of yeah, what do you say, you know um, certain level of inner consciousness, where they're saying, we really need to help people, just like we need help too. So I would say, as you're doing, as you contacted me, try to contact people who are in industry. I mean, to be honest with you, I know people who work in Caterpillar in India, and they ask, they are literally telling people in LinkedIn, if you need any advice, let us know. Things like that. So you can always ask those people, try to get connected. And trust me, networking is one of the key to find a job also, because there are many jobs out there, but if you are just sitting in your room and you people don't know who you are, what you have done, nobody's going to do anything. But you should be a person who is in everybody's mind, right? That, okay, I know someone who does something, because then a person is going to come back to you and contact you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So that was very helpful. I don't think, sir, there would be what I understand from what I can infer from this discussion is that I have to go applying for a job only after I finish my PhD. So I can't go about applying right now. And I think that is why, despite many applications, I'm getting all of the applications are being rejected. So I think that is one of the
No,
primary reasons.
but why you are wasting your time? I don't understand. What's the point of what are you going to achieve, if even if they're going to say, we're going to interview you, you're going to run back and join it? No. What's the point? See, one of the things you also have to remember, you have to make sure your CV is out at the right time. If it's already there for 1 year, people is already going to know who you are. It will not be good for you. If people already know about you, if somebody already have seen your CV, isn't they're not going to see it again. So don't make that mistake. I can tell you one thing: if a company if HR already see your CV, it's enough their file. They're not going to look back again for next 3 years. So don't ever make that mistake. If you are available, if you're out there, if you're really looking for a job, then only you should put your CV out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful. The discussion was very helpful. Thank you once again. I mean, I had a lot of confusions related to this. So now I understand that I am very much on the track, and I am eligible to apply for jobs of a computational nature, or the same people, industry people do. So and it clears a lot of my confusions. And thanking you once again, sir,
Yeah.
for this
As I
helpful
said
piece
to
of advice.
you, yeah, no, not a problem. As I said to you, all you need to do is focus on finishing stuff. But the second thing you have to understand, just don't think, oh, you are in mechanical engineer and you know crystal plasticity. That's where only jobs you have to look for. No. Think of what are your skills, and then go out and apply to whatever you want. But make sure your CV and your cover letter is very, very competitive for whatever job you're applying. It should say that you can do that work. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, Ankit,
Yes,
good talking to you,
okay.
and
Thank
keep in touch. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. I'll keep in touch
Okay,
with you.
see you.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you.